I'm your host, Donna Cates, and each week we'll dive into powerful stories, expert strategies, and practical tools to help you take charge of your financial future. Whether you're planning for retirement, navigating a divorce, or simply looking to build your wealth with confidence, this is your space to grow, learn, and thrive. Let's get started with today's podcast. Hi, everyone. Donna Cates here, and welcome to another Empowered Women's Wealth Weekly. We're so excited to have a guest today by the name of Olivia Habart, who owns Technique. So we're going to dive deep into Olivia's career and her journey, although it's a lot shorter than mine. We're going to get her to share with us about herself and why she loves doing what she's doing. So, Olivia, give us about a 90-second overview of what you do and why you got into it.
Awesome. Well, Donna, thank you so much. I'm really excited to be here today and chat. So my name is Olivia. I am running an early stage startup called Technique, and we're in the ed tech space, so education technology, and we utilize AI tools to help higher ed institutions serve their students better. So that looks like, career advising tools, professional development. So we help enable faster, more efficient services. Yeah, that's a little bit about Technique and what we do. Happy to dive deeper into
Good.
it.
Awesome. Yeah, we'll get
Yeah.
there. So, and I know because
Hmm.
you've used that word AI, and that's
Hmm.
probably the hottest topic going right now.
Hmm.
It will be for a while, but
Yeah.
I'm very curious to see how you answer this question, especially
Yeah.
on that AI focus. What is the biggest
Hmm.
problem that you see in your industry, and how are you
Hmm.
working to solve that?
Hmm. Yeah, so I think there's kind of like two spaces that we work in, right? There's like just like the AI space, and then there's the education space, and how to serve students. So I think from that perspective, I think the biggest problem that we're kind of coming in to solve is being thought leaders and partners to help institutions manage just this insane rate of change, especially
Mm,
for students going into careers. The job market is fluctuating so much. Like, for instance, if you uh, get a computer science degree, there used to be a plentiful amount of software engineering jobs, but now those are being hollowed out. And the entry level jobs they just are going away very rapidly. So you might start with a computer science degree as a student, and then by the time you graduate, there's no more job. So how do we help institutions prepare for that? So we're not just building software, we're collaborating and helping institutions manage this like rapid rate of change that they might not be exposed to um, as much and know how to plan for. And then the AI space, there's a lot of big problems too, but I'll just stop there to answer that like main. I'll,
yeah,
I'll pick the ed tech space as the main
absolutely.
problem.
Well,
Mhm.
and I love it because I know education in general is slow to change. That's just been
Mhm.
my experience over time. So to know that you're in that area that's not accustomed to rapid change, that it's what you're doing
Mhm.
is going to be very impactful and will make a big difference for folks going forward, I'm sure.
Mhm.
So tell me a little bit about what makes you unique in the way that you're
Mhm.
helping others through this process.
Yeah, that's a great question. So we actually have a very unique perspective in how we help like institutions. Like I mentioned, there's a lot of software development agencies that will come in and help. They'll pitch their product to the university. Like, we help with this, we help with that. But where we're coming from, the angle of we also do deep research into what the future of work is going to be. And we're bringing that insight also like to the colleges. And we also have consumer facing products as well. So we have a really good understanding of what students are looking for, what they're using, which some, and it depends on the software development agency, but most of them just build enterprise applications and they're not as connected with who are they actually serving. So we kind of bring a deep understanding of both like the problem we're trying to solve and also who we are serving at the end of the day, like the end user, if that makes sense.
It does. And I think,
Yeah.
from my perspective, it's like not being an expert in that area. It's like
Hmm.
so many people are just coming at companies with their canned products. And
Hmm.
that's not you can't do a one size fits all. You really do have to dig in and understand the culture and all of the resources available, all the things. So it's a
Hmm.
lot deeper dive. And it sounds like that's what's making you that unique from just the general business. So,
Hmm.
yeah, that's awesome. Well, and this is kind of a dangerous question,
Yeah.
especially in your area, but
Yeah.
especially with education. Where do you see the industry going in the next 5 to 10 years? And how the heck do you stay on top of that?
Yeah, that's a loaded question. That's a big question. I think like out of I mean there's so many industries that are being impacted right now with AI. And I mean I think education's one of the top that is going to change, especially higher ed institutions. Um so I think you said 5 years out, like
Mhm,
what,
mhm, mhm.
yeah, what the how things are going to change. What I see, and the universities I partner with, like the University of Michigan, for instance, they're really forward thinking. Like they're not afraid of what's coming, and they're saying like, okay, there's all these shifts. Students are using AI. Like, how do we help them prepare for it? I think uh, the institutions are going to have to adapt and they're going to have to restructure a lot of their like for instance like the classroom, like even the typical like I'm providing like a lesson, and you're gonna sit like a whole like I'm gonna quiz you on like how much do you like remember these things, like knowledge retention, like that's going to become less prevalent, because now we have these tools that have access to like all of human, the corpus of all human knowledge. So I think that where I see the education space moving is more of like helping to facilitate critical thinking and helping to
Mhm.
facilitate helping to facilitate how to connect with other humans better versus just how to memorize a set
Mhm.
of knowledge. Does that make sense?
It does to me, and it really
Okay.
resonates with me because I wasn't
Hmm.
really good at retaining all of that stuff. It's like I
Yeah.
think back to what I learned, and I'm like, oh my gosh, I might remember a thimbleful of it. So yeah,
Yeah.
I think that shift is going to be a positive thing if we can get over
Hmm.
the fact that we don't have to be book smart.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, and
I think it, yeah, definitely could be. Yeah.
I'm
Positive.
going to ask you this.
Mhm.
What is the biggest challenge that you faced to date or to this point in your life, either personally or professionally, and how does
Mhm.
that shape the way that you're doing business?
Oh my goodness. Well, as a startup founder, it's every day full of a new set of challenges. I think one of the biggest ones has been just finding my own, and then like as extension, like as our company grows, like the teams, uh, like startup culture and being confident in that, even though it's not the typical culture in Silicon Valley. We like to take a little bit more of a slower, deliberate approach. And like, for instance, like with fundraising, which is really important because you need like upfront capital so you can, you and your developers can build out a product. And you're not getting paid until the product's built. And that there's a lot of uh, venture cap venture capital here that wants to see you uh, they'll give you money and they want to see you build as quickly as possible, sell
Mhm.
to the highest, like, paying customer, regardless of, if that's really what you think will be the most impactful or the most useful or be the highest, like, use of you and your team's talent. So having to say no to some of those things
Mhm.
has been really, and then like, even like, finding our own voice in this like very competitive space and being confident in that, and then just staying consistent has been, yeah, very, very a big challenge. But I'm glad that we're still doing it and being like slow and deliberate and staying to like who we want to work with, who we want to serve, like how we want to do things, and yeah, being intentional about who we partner with so we can stay on that on that course.
I'm sure that's going to serve you very well because I can't help but to imagine that a lot of people, especially younger folks, creating, for the
Hmm.
first time, just seeing that big paycheck and going, "Ooh, yes, I want that." So, and
Yeah.
it's easy to sell out, but yeah,
Hmm.
you being intentional about who you work with and
Hmm.
bringing to the table what's going to make a difference. That's really significant. All right. So
Hmm.
share with me if you could have lunch with one person, whether they're living or deceased, who would that be and why? What would you want to ask them?
Oh my goodness. Yeah. Oh, that's a great question. I think if I could have lunch with one person, um I almost don't want to bring this up because I feel like it's a very controversial person right now. But someone I've followed a lot ever since I like began my like entrepreneurial journey is Elon Musk. I know everyone has an opinion, like you either love him or you hate him. But despite like people because there's a lot of opinions on him right now. He's built some of the most influential companies, and you can't argue with his
Mhm.
ability to bring together like an incredibly talented group of people to solve some really hard problems. Like what he's doing at SpaceX, what he's doing at Neuralink, with a brain computer, like interfaces with like the chip implants, and what that might be able to do for people, like his ambitions to go to Mars, and like how he has so many companies that strangely could align with that mission. um I think that it's very I would definitely have just a lot of questions as an entrepreneur myself. Like,
Mhm.
how do you do it? Yeah, because I think at the end of the day, you can't argue that he can certainly he has a like great ability, whether for good or for bad. He wants to do something, and he's able to bring it into reality like quite quickly. I think
Mhm.
that's a pretty incredible superpower. So yeah, that
That's
would be my
awesome. That is awesome.
yeah.
And I would have to say that it would be
Hmm.
fascinating to like be in his brain for a day just to see where
Hmm.
all it goes because it's got to be nonstop.
Hmm. Hmm. Yeah, and too that he has like such a original like for like his companies, like no one else was doing them. He was the first one, so to be like the person who's first is always very difficult. So like how do you navigate that area on your own, and then like lead a huge group of people, and have be so confident in where you're going that you're like, I'll lead a bunch of people. I'll raise millions, billions of dollars. Like that is
And if
intriguing
you're
to
not
me.
on board, it's okay too. You just step
Yeah.
aside, just get out of the way, right?
Yeah.
That's what I love. Yeah, just
Yeah.
you're either with me or you're not, but we're moving
Yeah.
on. So, okay.
Yeah.
Well, Olivia, share with our
Mm.
audience the best
Yeah.
way for them to reach out to you if they want to learn more about the work that you do, support you
Mhm.
with your startups. Where do they find you?
Yeah. So I think there's two places. I'm trying to be more active on LinkedIn and post some updates on really just what's going on in the AI space. So if anyone's interested in that kind of content in a very easy to understand way, definitely follow me on LinkedIn. I don't know if you have like a place where you can put links to that, and then for what we're doing as a company, you can go to our website, which is technique.org. So
Technique.org. Okay, we'll definitely
yes.
make those available to everybody. And
Yes.
I want to thank you for being on the show today. I know that you're going to have a
Mhm.
positive influence on a lot of people, and
Well, thank you.
especially to those that are looking at breaking out of a box and doing something different, because you're showing them it can be done. So thank you for that.
Aw, and thank you, Donna. I really appreciate the opportunity to chat with you. This was really fun. So
All right. Thank
thank you.
you. Bye bye.
Yeah. Bye.
I hope today's conversation left you feeling inspired, informed, and ready to take the next step in your financial journey. Remember, building wealth isn't just about money, it's also about creating a life that aligns with your goals and values. If you found this episode valuable, please subscribe, leave a review, and share it with the women in your life who deserve financial empowerment too. Until next time, stay confident, stay empowered, and keep building the life you desire.